Nation, I am back. Man, do we got an action-packed show today? I'm going to be giving you some updates on the Knicks coaching shirts for sure. I think there's a clear target here, and he's been under our nose this whole time. We're going to get into that. We'll talk about a potential Derek White trade. How would that look? Should the Knicks consider getting the Celtic guard? Of course, the Knicks draft picks of who's who. Okay. We'll also talk about Summer League because Summer League is upon us. MSG, the new deal is official. We've been talking about that all season long. We'll get into that. And we're talking about, of course, MSG Networks. No smoke of the week this week, but I do got a comment of the week. Of course, word on the street and much more on this episode of This Week Inside the Knicks. What's up, Knicks Nation? I am your host, Karan Pierre, the objective fan, straight out of Kings County. And you know the vibes, guys. And listen, man, hopefully you guys have been enjoying your weekend. It's the throes of summer. Got my notes somewhere, but let me give a big time salute to some people in the building. Salute to Shoquan. I see you, man. He said 9:45 p.m. Salute to Yuri, someone telling me to start the show. I get what you're saying, Shoquan. I'm late. Listen, man, I'm sorry I'm late, but I'm always great. Salute to Darlene Bryant. I hope it's not speculation. Unfortunately, Darlene, that's all we can do at this point in time. But I will say I think we are close to getting a coach. And look, to my Knicks Tape Madness Discord server, people, I am finally beginning to see the Leon Rose light. I see the master plan coming along, and let's see if he executes it. Well, trust me, I'll get to that when I talk about flagship. Of course, salute to my man, Knicks will be chance 25-26. That brother right there always keeps me on my toes. And yes, I'm going to still say 25-26 because that's the upcoming season. Salute to size 9. Yes, Holy Quran, it was written. Salute to you, size 9. That's a fact. Mikel P, salute to you as well. And Crim's dad, I see you in the building, man. I know I'm before noon. Guys, I'm getting ready to go on a mini vacation. I'm not going to call it a vacation. I'm going to call it a mini vacation. I'm going to be going down south to check out some family later on this week. So, unfortunately, there won't be another call-up show. I'm sorry for last Friday. I just had too much things to do, so I'm sorry. So, this is the first time we missed the call-up show since we've been doing the call-up show and not rescheduling it. Of course, there's times where I rescheduled it on Thursday. I really thought I could get a show out on Friday, but I couldn't. I really wanted to, and this topic I was going to touch on it on Friday, but we got more information today. So I figured, hey, let's keep the same topic going, the same questions I want to ask. And, we got a little bit more information. Not much, but we got a little bit more information. So call-up show will return, not this Friday, but the following Friday. But I will be going live from the South, right? And I will be doing some cool things. But because, it's free agency. So as things arrive, we make a trade, we sign somebody. I'm going to try to do a live. And even in between there, I might drop some short video clips as well, just keeping up to the free agency. I just won't be the typical lives because I won't be at home. Trying to think if there's anything else. I got an interesting unfiltered thought I'm going to do today. Julius Randle, he was signed 3 years, 33. I'm not going to touch on it now, but that's all it took to get Randle, 3 years, 100. Anyway, I'm trying to think if there's anything announcements. I think that's all on the announcement front. But I'm going to go into research mode. But before I do, because I reset the window, hold on, give me 2 seconds, y'all. I will interact with the chat. By the way, this is This Week Inside the Knicks, episode 4 of the 2025 off season. We'll be talking about all the hot topics between the 23rd and the 29th. Even though, to be honest, it really wasn't too many hot topics to talk about because we're still waiting to see exactly what the boss, Leon Rose, will do in terms of making moves. And I'm just going to say this. I see the light with the coaching search, y'all. I see the light. I see what Leon Rose is trying to do, and it's taking, and I honestly do believe it's taking him a little bit longer in time. Oh, before my bodega, hold on. Give me 2 seconds, y'all. Give me 2 seconds. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds. Let me do this really quick. I want to show y'all something. I got to get it as across the room. All right, guys, we back. So look what came in the mail. The white Bodega Cat t-shirt. I don't want to take it out the plastic because it makes it easy to pack. The white Captain 11. Hey, I'm gonna be lit, man. Listen, I'm rocking Knicks gear every day, man. I'm gonna be looking like I'm going to the garden out there. And of course, the Bodega Cat. I thought I ordered the bigger one. These do come in a bigger option. It goes up to 20 ounces. I think this is the 12 ounce. So yeah, man, this was what came in the mail, man. Go check out that shop, man. shop.theobjectiveknicksfan.com and cop some of the merch. I just want to show you. And I might even break this out too. This has just been on the wall the whole time. I'm a black tea guy, but I'm gonna jump into research mode, man. So, like I said, it wasn't really the most busy week because today the fireworks start. There's going to be a lot of things going on. Where we are right now is this podcast has a blog associated called thisweekinsidetheknicks.com, right? So when you go there, you'll be on the homepage. All you got to do is scroll down and you'll see the new episode 4. So all of the news that I'm going to be talking about is located on the blog, okay, on the website. And what did I just do? Okay, and so yeah, you can go ahead and catch to read all the news that we didn't talk about today. All right, so I do want to start this pod by giving a special highlight to Bojan Bogdanovic, right? Even though he was a Knick for, I'm not even sure if he made 20 games, but you know, I'm going to give a big time salute to him. He's retired. He announced his retirement, right? He had multiple surgeries, right? He had 14 months of battling foot surgery, right? And you know, when you start breaking stuff, when you get to that late 30s, it's hard to recover. It's hard in your body. Not that he couldn't do it, because salute to the late 30s crowd. You know what I'm saying? Salute to the late 30s crowd. He still could get it done, right? But when you're trying to compete on the professional level, especially on the NBA level, very, very difficult to do. So he announced his retirement, right? He said sometimes in life, you don't choose the moment chooses you. And this was a guy who I wanted to sign. He was on my free agent target. Like, yo, go get Bojan. We need a bona fide bucket off the bench, man. But clearly, you know, the injuries, the surgeries took him out. You know, but I wanted to give him a special highlight because he did serve a little bit of time with the Knicks, and he was an assassin off the bench for us for like one round, right? Because I think he got hurt early in the second round. So salute to Bojan, you'll be missed. And even though you wasn't a Knick for that long, I still felt it was right to give him that special highlight. So I'm gonna start with some free agent news. Okay, I'm gonna start with some free agent news from the week. I just want to talk about this, right? Because salute to Christian Winfield, Daily News. Would the Eastern Conference put the Knicks at the center of the power vacuum? I don't really care about the wounded Eastern Conference narrative, right? I don't really care about it because in my mind, I already told y'all this. If y'all been watching this pod and this channel, I said I thought the Knicks would have this was before Tiz was fired. This was before the playoffs. I thought that next season, the Knicks would have the best offense in basketball, right? And I thought we would be a #1 seed in the East. Will that happen? I don't know. It depends on if Leon Rose can do this move. But like I said to my Knicks Tape Madness Discord server, I see the light with Leon Rose. If he does what I think he's trying to do, man, he definitely should be the GM of the year this year. But this whole when I made that statement about the best team in the East, it had nothing to do with the injured Eastern Conference, right? And anybody who tells you that the Boston Celtics, they lost to us because Jason Tatum was injured, I got like a 23-minute unfiltered thought debunking that. If you watch that video, you would just tear them to shreds, right? Salute to all the channel members that watched that video. But that narrative that we beat Boston, because no, we destroyed Boston. I also got another unfiltered thought on how we destroyed Boston totally. And some of you guys didn't believe me. There were some people that was like, well, Boston will be back. No, they won't. Not with new ownership, not with $250+ million in tax penalties. We're not even talking about your salary cap over $200 million, which they were able to shred. By the way, I do want to give an, I guess this would be an addendum, or I want to say it's an error. But when I did the Knicks free agency, the guide to the offseason video live, which is still a great video, go watch it. I forgot to add, or I forgot to mention that salary dumps can be done by apron teams. So that's how Boston was able to get under the apron. They found the team that was not an apron team, that was not over the cap, that was under the salary cap, and they were able to move assets off, right? So that's how Boston is doing. And I knew that they would abandon ship, because at some point in time, you just can't afford to sustain a roster like that. It doesn't even matter if you're a big, large market or a small market. There's only maybe 2 teams, maybe 3, that could afford to live in the second apron with a championship roster. That's the Knicks, the Lakers, and maybe Golden State. Maybe Golden State. I'm not sure if that's what their ownership wants, but outside of those 3 teams, I'll even add the Clippers with Ballmer, right? Besides those 4 teams, it's very difficult for the other teams to sustain a second apron status for multiple years. So I knew that was coming. It's just the politics of basketball. It's not basketball itself, because they had a really great team, even though I felt like it was a flawed roster, 3 points and stuff like that. But the bottom line is this narrative of the wounded Eastern Conference, and that's why the Knicks should win. All these people that never rate the Knicks highly, they got the Knicks high all of a sudden. I'm like, yo, wow, hello, we don't need, these guys to be hurt. I think we would have beat them, and we could have been number 1, And like I said, this was pre-firing Coach Tibbs. Now that we don't got a coach, and well, after this, you watch this show, you're gonna see. I think I see what Leon Rose is doing, right? But if he's not able to do what I think he's trying to do, then I'm not as confident that we will be that number 1 seed. I mean, yes, we can. I mean, I'm not gonna doubt the Knicks. I'm always gonna root for the Knicks, but make sure I'm in the center. But I'm a realist, right? I'm always gonna give you the real take, no matter what, even if you don't like it. All right, even if you don't like it, let me move forward. So, yeah, this whole wounded East, like, don't fall for it, yo. I'm not gonna say it's hype. I'm just gonna say it's a narrative, right? It's a narrative, and there's always going to be a narrative. There's nothing wrong with the narrative or having narratives, but we gotta acknowledge it's a narrative. All the narrative is a story that somebody created. Doesn't mean it's right. Just because you got a narrative, it doesn't mean it's correct. It's just a narrative, right? What's true is true based on facts. A narrative is just a narrative. It doesn't mean it's necessarily correct, all right? So the injured East, right? And then here's another article. Like I said, any article I don't read, you can check this. This is another one talking about opportunity, screaming at the Knicks, the time is now, right? Also, like, when we talk about the East, my concern is not necessarily the East. My concern is the West. Yeah. What happens when you get past the East? Who are you seeing in the West? That's realistically what my concern is, right? Because we could very well win the East. But when you get to that Western Conference, if you see that the mighty OKC Thunder, as you see, they're retaining a lot of their free agents. They just signed the center Williams boy off the bench, right? And they're trying to come back with the same team. And I do think they will start to shed salary soon, like in terms of really parting ways with some of these guys, because they're not going to be able to afford to go into the aprons, but definitely not the second apron. But OKC, they're going to keep their core guys, right? They're going to keep SGA, Williams, Chet, right? Dort, Caruso's a part of that core, right? Hartenstein, I'm going to get to Hartenstein in a second. But I listen, I'm not always right, but I will say this. I always try to give solid takes. So that way, when the future comes, I don't look as crazy because I'm basing it off the information at the time. I don't just do the off the wall crap. I'm the objective fan. By the way, if you just joined the stream, this is This Week Inside the Knicks. I'm running through some topics. I'm gonna try to move fast because I'm kind of in a rush today. But these are some of the topics we be talking about: the new coach name, where I think Leon Rose is going, the Derek White trade, Knicks picks. Now, by the way, I'm trying to keep an eye out. I'm trying to multitask just in case we get any new crazy news, right? Because I wouldn't be surprised if the Knicks signed the coach today. I wouldn't be surprised. I doubt it. I'm gonna explain why. But when one door closes, another window opens up. But these are some of the topics we talk about. I'm gonna get to that Derek White trade. I'm gonna talk a little bit about the draft, MSG Network's new deal. Okay, no smoke of the week this week, but I do got comment of the week. Okay, so this is what we talking about. If you just joined, and also if you're not a subscriber, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Right, hit that like button. Of course, hit the bell icon so you get all the notifications. And if you are a subscriber, consider joining the channel. Okay, so I'm gonna be moving a little fast. Okay, a little fast. So the Knicks acquired, and I was talking to the OG Knicks fan the other day, and the Knicks acquired this kid here. His name is Dink Pate. Sorry if I butchered the pronouncing. Dink Pat, I don't know. 19-year-old kid. He was a G League Ignite product. He's 6'7". I like the height. He also will be on the G League. I'm gonna try to talk a little bit about G League later if I have time. We don't really have much info on the G League yet. I mean, on the G League, on the Summer League yet. But this is the kid here. He has a good upside. Fantastic. Look, I'm never going to be upset at signing young talent, right? I'm never going to be upset at that. But in the back of my mind, and this is just my mind, guy, I'm not saying y'all should think like me. I'm looking at the championship moves. As talented as Dink Pate is, he is not a championship move to me. Okay, I mean, it's a solid addition. I'm curious to see what he looks like in Summer League. I will be watching Summer League. I wanted to be out in Vegas, but that's not going to happen, unfortunately. But I will be watching all the games, and I'll do content on it. We'll talk about it, right? But, I mean, everybody was making a big deal about these picks or these signings, and I'm like, okay, does it help move the needle? That's all I'm thinking about. I'm big picture here, championship. That's where my mind is. I'm sorry I think that way, but it's just the way I think. Let me keep it moving. Something I'm trying to. I don't want to go through because I can't go through everything, but I'm just trying to get through some of the things that are important, right? So, key decisions the Knicks face with their own free agents, and salute to Christian Winfield. He kind of lists out everything that we need to know. PJ Tucker, of course, I was getting to it, but PJ Tucker, he was declined. So PJ Tucker will not be with the Knicks this season. I like PJ Tucker. I thought he was a great veteran presence, but I think PJ Tucker was for Coach Tibbs. Coach Tibbs is not here. PJ Tucker's up out of here. Ariel Hukporti, of course, the 1.9. There's no way you're not going to re-sign that, bring him back. So Ariel, his 1.9 team option is back. And you know what I can do? Let's pull up the Knicks Sports Track so we could actually look at the thing in totality, okay? So we can see where we are. Because the PJ Tucker, them not bringing him back for this season and not fulfilling that option has cap implications, and I'm going to talk about it, okay? So now, because we didn't bring back PJ Tucker and the decision had to be made yesterday, I think the 29th was the deadline, we now have $11.5 million in space. Hold on, let me get out of this. Okay, boom, so you guys can see more clearly. So we have the $11.5 million space, right? We have to sign at least 4 players, not counting two ways. Two ways is different from the active roster, okay? So this is where we are right now, okay? These are the guys that's on the contract. The Knicks also, let me go back to the Daily News. Okay, so this is who's on the contract. These are the 10 that we got. Let's see. I don't think they offered the qualifying. I think they cleared all our cap holds. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So, no, we didn't clear. Okay, we didn't clear them yet. Okay, they're still here. But let me see. The exceptions is still not there. Okay, no problem. Okay, that's not a problem. So this is what we're working with. So let me go back to the Daily News. So Ariel, he's back. Anton Watson, they could offer him the $2 million. They have cap holes and rights to, offer these guys contracts. Same thing with Marchand B-Chump. Sorry if I butchered the name. He also has a $2 million qualifying offer, okay? So these are some of the guys that we have to make decisions on. I don't think B-Chump or Watson make the team. I don't see it happening. It depends on the coach, right? And this is why it's hard to make moves when you got a coach, because different coaches, you never know. Marchand B-Chump might be a Taylor Jenkins guy if that's the coach, right? Same thing with Watson, but we don't know. So it's hard to make these moves without having a coach in mind, right? Now we got DeLon Wright, Shamet. I had an article. I'm not sure if I think this came out this morning, but there's teams that's reportedly interested in Shamet. So we might lose Shamet, right? Because the most we can offer him is the veteran minimum. A team could come in, we give you $4 million, $5 million. That's more than what we can offer, unless we want to spend our exception money on Shamet, which we could do. But if you spend the exception money on Shamet, that has other implications. I'll get to that in a second. Of course, Kevin McCullough Jr., I think this kid, Kevin McCullough, he has the greatest chance of getting a contract, right? Now, they could give him another two-way deal, but I think that Kevin McCullough makes the team, especially if he has a good summer league showing. This will be his first time actually getting an opportunity to play during summer league, okay? And Precious is gone. I don't see a world where Precious stays. Now, signing trades can happen. Maybe the new coach, Precious is fond of the new coach. Maybe they promise Precious a starting role or a six-man-like role. But I think, like the Daily News say, he's going to walk. Campaign, I think he's out of here as well. So that's just what we're dealing with from our own free agents. We know we let PJ go. We only brought back Ariel. We still got cap holds on most of these guys here, even though a lot of these guys are just one-year guys. So it'll be interesting to see exactly what happens with these guys. But I think that Kevin McCullough Jr. has the best chance of coming back out of anybody else. Right? And maybe, I don't know. We don't know the coach, but I think Kevin McCullough Jr., he's Leon Rose's guy. So when you're the boss's guy, you get more leeway with that. So because Boston has kind of shed salary, right? Where is it at? The Daily 15? I don't see it. Anyway, the Daily Knicks, they had an article saying how because Boston has done what they've done. Oh, yeah. In terms of making a move, here's the article here. So they're saying that from one, I don't think Al Horford is a dream free agency target. I think that that's a little crazy, right? To say that he's a dream target, but he may be off limits due to the Porzingis trade, right? Now Boston actually can sign Horford to a nice contract to bring him back. The problem is, when I'm hearing from reports, of course, nothing is substantial, Boston is strongly considering going under that luxury tax line, which is about, hold on, let me pull it up. The luxury tax line, I think, is 187. We got it here. Oh, they don't got it. I think the luxury tax line is 187. I don't know why Sports Track don't got it. They got the aprons. Let's see. It's around 180. So rumor has it that Boston is trying to get under that mark. And you know what? I'll put Boston on the screen just so we could look and see. Right? If Boston's realistically trying to get under that mark, they still have more salary to shred. Right? Because I think after the trade, they freed up I think they were a first apron team. So they're around that 190 or something like that. I'm not trying to do the math off the top of the head, but I think it's around 190. Oh, okay, they got it here. Do they? Yeah, 195. Okay, so they're around that 195 mark. So if they want to shed salary, I don't see how they bring back Horford, right? I think that makes them getting Horford actually harder. So I kind of disagree with the Daily Knicks, but Boston does have more money to offer Horford if they wanted to bring him back. I don't know what the hell they're trying to do. That's on Boston. But hey, we'll see what happens. I want to say he's a dream free agent target. And I'm going to talk about a couple of more targets, and then I'm going to move on from free agency. I think I covered everything. Here are three options, right? Of course, Al Horford. I don't think he's low cost no more. I think Batum opted in, but Bruce Brown is somebody that's interested. I don't think Batum is still there, but Bruce Brown is somebody. Damn, I had the list of free agents. I'm not going to get. I don't think I need to get into it because we don't even have a coach right now at 11:36. If you guys hear anything about a new coach, let me know. Let's see. We did get some news. Nope, nothing on the coach. I'm gonna tell you why we didn't get news on the coach in a second. But you just never know. Because today is the day for madness. This is the beginning of the free agent, the moratorium period. It's going to be hectic. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on. And there's more targets. I mean, Luke Kennard. We talked about Luke Kennard. I'm not sure if he'll be available. I could see a team giving him more money because while we have access to the 5.7 mid-level exception, other teams have $12 million. Teams that's underneath the salary cap, right? Or underneath the tax line. They can offer him that amount. So, you know, Luke Kennard, Gary Trent Jr. is still there. I didn't see anything about him re-signing. So, you know, the list is pretty much the same. Of course, a lot of the top heavy guys, we know LeBron went back, James Harden. We knew that all the star players were going back. Those guys wouldn't be available. So it's not a limited window, but you have teams that can actually sign guys and spend more money than you, right? And we still don't know which direction the Knicks is going in terms of the aprons. Do we go into the second apron? Do we stay first apron? If you use that 5.7, you could become hard cap. So one of the things I think Leon Rose is going to do is, let me go back to the Knicks, get out of this godforsaken Boston Celtics, by the way, who we destroyed totally. And I do think they opt to go under that luxury tax. But that also would mean Jaylen Brown or White goes in a deal, which is possible. Anyway, so now that the Knicks have the $11.5 million in space, if you get somebody for the 5.7, let's say you convince them to sign for 5.5, right? You immediately become hard cap at that first apron, but now you would have, if you do 11.5 minus the 5.5, you have $6 million to sign 3 young players to minimum deals, right? And there's a way to manipulate it. So you probably would sign the first 2. Let's say if it's Kevin McCullough Jr., you could give him a 2-way and then upgrade later. There's ways to do it so that way it falls under that 2.2. Listen, it's a lot of basketball politics, red tape stuff, but the Knicks could do it if they really wanted to. Let me see what you guys talking about in the chat. By the way, salute to the chat, man. I do appreciate all you guys for rocking with me. Definitely hit that subscribe button. And while I'm here, since I showed you some of the merch that I just came in and I'm taking on my vacation, man. This just came in. White Bodega Cat. I'm gonna take you guys to the shop really quick, just to show you to all the people that didn't see it yet, or that was considering buying, why you should consider going to shop.theobjectiveknicksfan.com. Checking out some of the merch, man. The Bodega Cat. This mug right here. I got it right here. Bam, right? It's nice. It's fire. Okay. The mugs is, listen, the mugs are the best seller. Everybody loves the mugs, man. Go get yourself a mug, right? See the Bodega, right? Lion, hear him roar, right? Then we got the Captain. This is the best seller right here. The white Captain 11 mugs. Everybody loves this. It got the New York City skyline inside the Captain. Go to shop.thisweekinsidetheknicks.com and check out some of the merch, man. And of course, we on This Week Inside the NYK. Why not show some love to This Week Inside the NYK? All right. So shop.theobjectiveknicksfan.com, shop.thisweekinsidetheknicks.com. No matter which one you go to, it'll take you to this website, and you could, support the channel and check out some of the cool merch. And I do got more stuff coming. I'm just, a lot going on. Trust me, I got some announcements I'm making. I'm getting ready to travel. If you guys don't know, if you just joined the stream, we won't be doing the call-up show this Friday. I'll be traveling. So unfortunately, I got to miss another Friday, but it'll be back the following Friday. And in between time, I'll be doing spontaneous lives on the road, while I'm out of town. Let me see what you guys talking about in the chat. JJP NYC, salute to you, brother. Been a minute since you called up the call-up show. Let me see, no matter how much of the MLE Knicks use, it will put them in the second apron. No, it would hard cap them, right? So I'm not sure if that's what you're trying to say, right? Basically, it's a limit. So we technically are in the second apron, but we're not above the limit. Once you get above the limit, that's when you get the penalties. Let me see if I can show you. Let me see if I can show you. Show you better than I could tell you. So look. Look at the second apron summary, right? So once you get past the first apron, which is the 195, you're technically within the second apron, but you're not past the maximum, which is the 207. Does that make sense? So you shoot past the first apron maximum, you're technically in the second apron, but you're not hit with the restrictions, because in order to do that, you got to pass the maximum, the 207, okay? Hopefully that makes sense. Let me go back and see. Indiana beat us with speed and size. What's happening is Simmons is now trying to get a new contract. Oh, another cool thing too. Oh, two things I want to talk about. Technical things. Okay. So if the Knicks would have drafted their second round pick instead of trading it, they would have got what was called a second round exception. I didn't talk about this on the free agency show because I knew the Knicks wasn't going to do nothing in the draft. But anyway, or they wouldn't trade the pick, because once you trade the pick, it doesn't work. So a second round exception is basically when you sign that second round pick, your own pick, the 50th pick. So let's say the Knicks keep the 50th pick. That salary would not affect the cap. It would have no impact on this right here. This apron stuff, it would have been just another player, but it would not have impacted the apron space or the salary cap. It's called a second round exception. It's even available to apron teams. I wasn't sure about that, but I checked it out and I made sure, because, when I get on the mic, I got to make sure I'm accurate, okay? Because you guys will, kill me if I'm not. Another thing too, DeAndre Ayton, right? I ain't talk about him yet, but DeAndre Ayton was bought out. Reports say that he went to Portland asking to be bought out. He was making $35 million. Now, you guys remember, on the salary cap, the guide to the offseason show, right? I didn't include that in the offseason, you could actually sign a guy who makes more than $14 million, because during the regular season, like Ayton makes $35 million. So teams that are apron teams wouldn't be able to sign him in the regular season. In the offseason, we have the green light to sign Ayton. So the Knicks could go after Ayton, right? But of course, the Knicks are not. We already got Mitch. We already got Towns. Maybe, hey, we make a move for Mitch, sign Ayton, but Ayton's going to want to start. So it's not going to work. The Lakers, I think he's going to go to the Lakers. I expect to see DeAndre Ayton in the Laker uniform. Perfect center for Luka. Pick and roll, defense. That's what the Lakers need. This was a Laker move. And I'm pretty sure, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't got no inside sources. This is all speculation. I'm going to say allegedly. I think the Lakers might have had a conversation with Ayton like, hey, yo, get that buyout. We'll sign you. You're going to be the man here with LeBron and Luka. But then there's some rumors that there may be some issues there with Luka, LeBron. Salute to everybody that's in the building, man. We got 100 people in the chat, man. That's what's up, man. Big ups to yourself. Make sure y'all smashing that like button, man. And subscribe if you're not subscribed. I do appreciate the support. Trying to see if Ayton is going to the Pacers. He could go to the Pacers, size 9. And you saying they're going to come off of Miles Turner? Possibly. Possibly. I don't see why he would go to the Pacers. I would rather go to Indiana. To the Lakers, I'm sorry. And let me just read a couple of more before I continue. Sherwin, why do you think that Ben Simmons is better than Josh Hart? Yeah, Yoga. I can't pronounce the first name. Yeah, we're gonna call you crazy, Spike Lee. Yeah, get out of here. Salute to Spike Lee, but he ain't gonna be no coach. Let's see. Taylor Jenkins, yes, and Brown in the second round. I'm gonna get to the coaching in a second. I'm moving kind of fast. All right, let me keep it moving, y'all. Let me keep it moving because there's a lot of topics. Even though this week wasn't a lot, but it is a lot of good stuff to talk about. As far as free agency, I'm gonna talk about Randall. Expect to see an unfiltered thought about Randall. I might do it before I leave out. So channel members, look out for that. I'm gonna get to some of these smoking hot topics, okay? So of course, James Dolan, his beef with the NBA continues. So there's been talks of expansion teams, right? Especially now that the Warriors and the Lakers, sold for 10. Well, the Lakers sold for $10 billion, right? Who's roadblocking? James Dolan, right? And Bill Simmons is trying to say that Dolan has an issue. At some of the meetings, it's 29-1. So Dolan was opposed to the expansion, but it's looking like we will get expansion teams in the near future. I think there's still some politics with that. But Dolan, he's voting every time there's a vote. He's going the opposite way. All right. He's not rocking with the NBA. And you know what? I'm riding with Dolan for the most part because I do see his fight. I just feel as though the network stuff is difficult. Like all of these local networks bankrupt, right? Every single one of them. And they had to restructure and teams are merging. And now the Yankees might merge with MSG Networks. So it's speaking of that. Let's see. Oh no, this is somebody calling for Dolan to sell because the Lakers recently sold for $10 billion, so they're trying to say that the Knicks would get more money if they sold. I think so. I think the Knicks would get, even though the Lakers are the Lakers and they're the value, franchise. I do think that they would get more than the Lakers. I could see the Knicks going for $11 billion, $12 billion, right? Especially when we know Dolan's not selling the Knicks, right? It's not happening. He already said this is a heirloom. I didn't buy the Knicks, right? This was given to me. So more than likely that's what the deal is. But they were calling for the Knicks to sell because they could get more money than the Lakers, but it's not happening. That'd be a crazy come up. I can't remember how much they bought in for. It probably wasn't more than a couple of billion when they first got into the Knicks business in the 90s. When Dolan and them, when they was under, what was it? Was it Optimum or Cablevision? Cablevision, right? So when they first got in, it probably was because they started as a minority stake and then they took over and became the majority. Either way, it'll be a major come up. Multiple billions of dollars if they sold the Knicks. It's not happening though. But I am curious now to see what the Knicks value really is because they got us listed at $7 billion, but I think we're more than like. This is Madison Square Garden. This is a big deal. Let's see. Okay, so this is to stay on topic. This is the deal I was talking about. MSG Networks makes the debt deal because there was an $800 billion of debt. They've negotiated to get it down to $200 billion. That's a crazy difference. They owed J.P. Morgan over $800 million, right? So they wind up reworking the scenario. They brought it down to $200 million, right? And in doing that, part of the deal was the Knicks, the media rights fee that they pay the Knicks, they reduced it by 28%. and 18% to the Rangers. I don't know how that's going to impact that, the actual broadcast, but I expect to see some cutbacks to the MSG. Now, I don't know what it's going to be, but if they're reducing that fee, that they giving to the Knicks, maybe it's nothing. It's probably nothing. It's just less money. It's just politics because they're all owned by the same company. So how it works is this: you have MSG Networks, MSG Sports, which actually owns the Knicks and the Rangers, and then you got the Sphere, right, which is the Vegas arena. They're all under one umbrella, but there's 3 different companies under one, but it's still 3 different companies. So MSG Sports pays MSG Networks pays MSG Sports. So MSG Networks will be paying MSG Sports 28% less to cover the Knicks. That's kind of crazy. Keep it moving. And by the way, if you just joined, I will get to the coach. This is some of the topics we talking about. I will be talking about the new coach, the prospective new coach, and where Dolan is going. Plug in my laptop before I lose the stream. That'll be crazy. So we're going to get to that if you just joined. And I'm going to get to this Derek White trade in a second as well. Let me move a little faster. So I only talk about the MSG sports stuff because we've been covering it since the beginning. And I like to cover all the news, all of the hot topics. Anything I don't cover, you could go to thisweekinsidethenix.com and you click on episode 4. That's where we are. You'll see all of the stuff from the week. It's kind of like a weekly digest where if you want to see all the news, make sure you got everything. You just go there and you'll get your quick Knicks fix, right? To make sure you've seen everything. It's a lot, but it's not as much as we usually get. So let's see. And like I told about, I got an unfiltered thought talking about this. Boston tears us down. And Boston, basically they're saying that Brunson's sacrifice, which is the greatest sacrifice in Knicks history, continues to age because literally Jalen Brunson, he would have been getting $20 more million. So that $34 million you see right here would have easily been $54 million. If he was getting that $54 million, this would be your apron space. Gone. You'd be a second apron team. So Boston is going through something, crazy because they can't sustain, right? They can't. And I don't think any team could sustain the penalties that come with the multiple years in the second apron. But I told you I was coming. And people was like, oh, no, Boston will be back. Boston is done. They got rid of all of their core championship pieces. They're going to have to pick up the pieces this season when Tatum gets back, then try to assemble a team like they did before, try to get a Holiday or a Porzingis level player. That's their goal. I think it's going to be very difficult because the East is going to be so far ahead. You're going to have a year of Orlando. The Knicks, hopefully we make the right move, right? Indiana's going to come back with Halliburton, right? That's the only guy they're missing. So, yeah, I think Boston is cooked, bro. I think Boston's cooked. It's only a matter of time before they trade Brown and Tatum. And I wouldn't be surprised if Brown gets traded or White gets traded this offseason because the goal, I think, for them realistically with a new ownership, you already got a championship, get under that luxury tag. Why stay over the luxury tag? You're not going to be competitive this year. I'm just doing this to kind of be petty, okay? Salute to Hartenstein. I have no beef with Hartenstein. When I'm saying petty, I'm going to just say I told you so. I had a video on this channel last year saying why Hartenstein, his money that you think is more is actually not more. The Knicks were going to offer Hartenstein 4 years, 72 with the early bird rights. That was all that they could offer him because of the politics. If you know early bird rights, it's a certain maximum you can offer to your own free agents because they have been there under 3 years. So once they get to the second year of service, after that, you can offer them what's called early bird rights. So the Knicks could only offer him the 4 year 72, and I think he would have got it with no options. OKC gave him the 3 year $89 million deal, but that last year is a team option. So he gets the first 2 for the $59 million, but he's going to lose out on the $30 million because the OKC Thunder, and you know what, I could pull it on the screen. The OKC Thunder, they have committed to some of their younger guys, right? And I'm gonna do this real quick just to say I told you so. But that's what that Daily Knicks article was talking about, that Hartenstein, his last year, his deal, I don't think he's coming back, okay? So in 2025, I'm sorry, 26, 27, they got to sign. Look at who they got to sign. Chet Holmgren and Jalen Williams. Okay? You see that? And we're talking about big extensions. We're talking about, and that doesn't even account the guys that they got, who they got to sign. I know they signed Jalen Williams, the other Jalen Williams, right? Hold on, let me see. Let's go back. Just to be, I know this isn't Knick business, but I still like to look at the salary stuff. So they got 13 players on the contract. I could have sworn they re-signed this Williams right here. No, not this one. Hold on. Not that one. The other Williams. It's too many damn Williams on this team. Hold on. They re-signed the big man Williams. Yeah, this Williams. Yeah, I had it right. Let's see. So they gave him $8 million. Okay. So yeah, this is the young big man Williams. They gave him a 2-year extension. All right. So he'll be back, or a 3-year extension. I'm not sure if he was up this year. He might have been up this year. Either way, they've brought him back. Right. Caruso got the 4-year, 80 million joint, right? He got the 4-year 80. Right. So where does this leave Hartenstein? This is a team, a small market team, even though they're the champions. They're not trying to get inside these aprons, y'all. They're not trying to get in. Listen, not everybody could afford it. So when you look at 26, 27, and I'm going to get off this OKC stuff. But look, first apron space, $60 million. They got to sign Chet and Jalen Williams and put together a roster. Because even if they sign those two, they still got to sign at least 2 more guys. 2 to 3 more guys, depending on what they do with some of these options. So, yeah, Hartenstein, he's not getting the bag, y'all. I hate to say I told you, but I told you. Let me move forward. Talked about the Knicks' value. Do I want to talk about Giannis? I'm going to talk about Giannis in a second. But here's an interesting take on Giannis. They said that Knicks fans should root for Giannis to stay in Milwaukee. The reason why is because if he stays for the year, Milwaukee, they're going to be a dump. They'll have more assets available next season. So next season, they can trade more first-round picks, the 26th first round and the 2033. So that'll be 2 first-round picks they'll have available to. And they could also do swaps. So that would be your package for Giannis next season. The 26th first, 2023 first, and then you got the swaps in 28, 2030, and 2032. So that would make a Giannis trade more appealing. Just an alternative thought. I don't know how you guys feel about that. Let me see how you guys doing in the chat. The chat is lit. Salute to the chat. Knicks will be champs. Smart article. Stop it. I see you in there. Knicks Tape Matters, This Girl Server channel member. Smart article. Stop. Don't worry, I got another trade scenario for Giannis in a second. They say he's the number 1 priority to resign. I guess you're talking about Turner, yes. Turner will be back with the Pacers, for sure, guaranteed. Let me see what you guys talking about in the chat. Salute to the chat, man. The chat's on fire, man. I appreciate the support, y'all. Listen, if you're not a subscriber of this channel, hit that subscribe button. This episode is called, or this show is called This Week Inside the Knicks. It's a podcast I do every Monday where I break down the weekly news. So this time period, we're talking about all the news between the 23rd and the 29th. And we're going to talk about the new coach, where I think they're going with the coach. Let me check the news just in case to make sure there's no new updates. Because, you know, today is the crazy day. I don't see no updates on my end. If you guys see any updates, let me know in the chat. But right now, we're talking about all the news up until yesterday. The Derek White trade, I'm going to get to that. I talked about the Knicks draft picks already. I talked about MSG's news deal. And I got a lot more in store for this episode. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed. Like button, bell icon, all that good stuff. And if you are a subscriber, consider joining the channel. Let me see what else you guys talking about in the chat. See if there's anything interesting. More Pacer stuff. Yeah, and Yuri, nothing yet, right? I'm going to tell you why. Give me 2 seconds. I just want to hit a couple of more topics before I jump off the deep end. Well, not jump off the deep end. Let's see. I'm going to go back to. So here's some of the trade rumors that I want to get into, right? So this is all rumored. I don't know how true this is, but Bridges and Mitchell Robinson are 2 players that's being discussed in terms of trade. We know that Mikal Bridges, and I did a video talking about this. Bridges, his max is 4 years, 156. If the Knicks didn't want to give Randall 3 years, $33 million, I don't see a world where Mikal Bridges gets 4 years, 156. I don't think that makes sense. And when you do the Mikal Bridges 4 years, 156, you're going to be a second apron team next year. So we're going to be a second apron team next season, no matter what, unless he decides, salary dump. You could always salary dump. That's something that Boston did, something that will be open to the Knicks if they want. However, I think that there may be substance to the trade rumors, man. I could see a world where Bridges or Mitchell Robinson is dealt. I'm going to keep it real, guys. I loved last year's starting 5 with Josh Hart. The problem is, 1, you're small. 2, Mikal Bridges is he's a small forward. He can guard 2 guards. He's not really guard. His job is not to guard point guards. I think that's the biggest issue with Mikal Bridges. Point guards is a task. 2 guards, that's where his strong suit is. Small forwards, but point guards, I think that's an issue, right? And so I think that there needs to be a change to the starting lineup. I also think Wingstop should be broken up. That's just my take, because I just don't feel like it's a good fit. Now, whoever the new coach is, I don't know what their desires are, but you add that to the mix, I see it changing. So yeah, that's where we are right there. So, and the trade that we're all thinking that can happen would be, and this is what the Hoops Hype rumors is talking about. Well, not Hoops Hype, but this is what's reported by, in the media, right? Mark Stein. The Knicks sources say that Boston told one rival team that would have insisted on a Mikal Bridges type of package to part with Derek White. The Celtics have received no shortage of inbound trade calls on both White and Brown in recent days, but nothing got serious on either front. So how do you guys feel about that deal? Derek White. I said Jaylen Brown. That's a guy I wouldn't mind getting on I wouldn't mind getting Jaylen Brown, but Derek White for Mikal Bridges. How do you guys feel about that deal? I should have put that poll up. I didn't do that poll. I do got a Derek White poll. I'll get more into that when we get to Word on the Street. But so right now, let me get to the right year. This is next year. So Mikal Bridges, $24 million, right? 24.9. Let's just say 25, just to keep the math simple. We're going to pull up the Boston Celtics. Derek White, and by the way, the Celtics are our first apron team. Derek White is making $28 million. $28 million. Now, they don't have to be a first apron team. They could also be under the luxury tax team too. So whatever moves Boston has to make before, July 6th or whatever it becomes official, July 5th, around right after the moratorium period when all this stuff becomes finalized, they would have to dump salary. So then you would have to see, so they could do a deal that kind of breaks apron rules if they want to come and become a luxury tax team. They could technically do it because they're kind of in limbo right now because none of these stuff is finalized. But $28 million for Derek White, $25 million for Mikal Bridges. We know that on the Knicks side, the Knicks, we are a first apron team. So we wouldn't be able to do that deal for White straight up. So we would have to add more salary. Now, one of the things you could do, you could sign one of these guys, Beachum, Watson. You could sign these 2 guys right here. Bam. Now you have enough money to trade for Derek White. Okay. So you do Bridges and these two guys for Derek White. I'm not sure how you guys feel about the deal. I got a shocking take. I have a shocking take. While I do think that Mikal Bridges is probably a better all-around player than White, I think that White is better for the Knicks. Why do I say that? He's a point guard that can play two guard. He's used to being off the ball, on the ball. He's played with Jrue Holiday, right? He would be able to play with Jalen Brunson. I think he and Jalen Brunson would be the perfect marriage at the guard spot, right? He can guard point guards. He can shoot the three. Let's see. Hold on. I got an article here. I'm gonna show you some of the differences, right? They saying White is a significantly better player than Bridges. I don't know if I would say that, but here's the averages. So last season, Bridges averaged 17.6 points, 3.7 assists, 3.2 rebounds. I mean, the rebounding, to all you Wingstop guys, OG and Mikal Bridges on the boards, dude, you're going to get killed on the boards. And I told you guys last season, by the way, I still got my notes from last season, y'all. This is why you need to subscribe to my channel, because I stay on point. So last season, when the Knicks dominated the rebounding matchup, their record was 35-10. All that means is out-rebounding the other team. You're not going to out-rebound the other team and help winning if Mikal Bridges is giving you 3.2 rebounds, okay, as a small forward, okay? With Wingstop at the forwards. That's not going to work. He did shoot 50% from the field. He's a mid-range god, for sure, but 35% from three. White averaged 16.4 points, 4.8 assists, less than Josh Hart. Josh Hart averaged over 5, but that 4.8 assists, that could easily go up to 6, depending on your coach, depending on your system. 4.5, he's a better rebounder than Bridges, right? 4.5 rebounds a game. He only shot 44% from the field because he doesn't. Most of his shots are threes, but he did shoot 38% from three. Okay, and then if you're interested in the plus minus, which I'm really not, because it's two different teams, two different scenarios. But White had the better plus minus. He was 3.4 while Bridges was 1.1. If that makes you feel better, I don't care about the plus minus in that regard, because it's two different teams. If they were on the same team, then yeah, I would value it a little bit more. Okay, now. This is why I agree with them. I don't think that White is significantly better, but for those reasons and the reasons that I just said, I would take White over Bridges. Now, if I could do the package that I just shared with y'all, if I could do Mikal Bridges and then sign B-Chump or sign Watson and then trade those guys to Boston, right? I would do the deal. Bridges for White straight up with those two guys, done deal. Done deal. And I'm getting ready to jump into flagship time. No, I'm an hour in, about to be an hour, and I'm getting ready to talk about the coach, y'all. All right, we're going to talk about the coach. I know that's why a lot of you guys are here. I want to say this before I get to the coach. Hold on. Nope. I'm going to get into that article in a second. There's another article. I don't see it. But there was another article talking about Giannis, how he is now interested again in seeing what other teams can offer for him. So there's a window for Giannis trade, right? There's a window for Giannis trade. But now, let me get into the coaching stuff. Hold on, let me see what you guys. Yo, the chat is lit. Salute to the chat, yo. I love the chat. Let's see. What is the numbers when OG and Bridges and Cat and Mitch is at the 4-5? First off, Lou Boogie, we don't have enough data. They didn't spend enough time. That lineup, Bridges, Cat, Mitch, and Cat and Mitch, that lineup did not have enough time to percolate. That lineup did not have enough time to gel, right? So I'm not even going to go there. with the plus minus. Not enough sample size. You need to see a season of that. What I do know is that the starting five we had last year was third in scoring. Right? It was one of the best starting fives in basketball for much of the season. But for some reason, we had to break them up. Yeah, I do understand the size issues with Hart, but that lineup was really good. And I will tell you also, in the playoffs, the double big lineup was exposed, right? I mean, they were a -8 one game, -18 another game. They had the one game where they had a really good plus minus, but you need time to work on those things. I don't think the double big lineup is it. You're going to be dealing with Hacker Mitches, and now Towns don't have spacing to operate. You don't want Towns as a power forward. Towns is a center. I've been talking about that I did much content on it. Karl-Anthony Towns is a 5. You need a real power forward to go with Towns, which we don't have. OG Anunoby, I love him. He's not a real power forward. You need a Bobby Portis, right? Somebody who could stretch the floor, give Towns the space that he needs, and not Mitch just standing in the paint. Towns needs space to be effective. Just like that first game, they ran the double big lineup when they won. It wasn't the double big lineup that caused the win. The double big lineup in that game that we won against Indiana, they were a -8. But when Towns had the 20 points in the fourth quarter, that was when Mitch wasn't on the floor. Definitely, guys, we got to get the likes up. Hit the like button. Hit that like button. We got to get the likes up. I'm riding with your HR. I'm the great. Salute to you on that. I can't pronounce the name. I'm going to say Lou. He said, I see your take about white over bridges. I wouldn't do it, though. So I'm about to jump into flagship. But before I jump into flagship, I talked about the channel membership. I just want to share with you guys what happens when you do join the channel, right? So, of course, you go to the channel. You see it right there. Hit that join button. Bam. Right? And we got 2 packages. I'm only going to talk to you about the started Knicks fans. So a lot of the guys you see in the chat with the stars, those guys are my channel members. A lot of them are mods. These guys also have access to a special server that's only for channel members. It's called the Knicks Tape Madness Discord server, right? Now, in this Discord server, you get access to a 24/7 Knicks chat. I mean, we talk about the Knicks all the time. We also talk other sports, right? All the sports. And it's a great way to extend the conversation with me outside of YouTube. If you're feeling the content, you want more, definitely get inside that Knicks Tape Madness Discord server. A lot of my unfiltered thoughts, a lot of my things that I say, I talk with them first, and they'll tell me if I'm jumping off the deep end, or they'll tell me if they agree with me. So that's what you get access to. It's not a free-for-all Discord server. I don't like to have so many people up in there, and I got to manage, trolls. Nah, this is something for members. It's a great place to be. Like I said, extend the conversation with me. That's not all you get when you join the channel, right? Of course, you get the cool badges, so I know who you are. You also get access to members-only live chats. So typically when I do my 10 keys, or if I do like a deep dive video and the chat is as lit as this is, I tend to, put it on members only so I could just focus on the content, give the members an opportunity to contribute the way you guys are now. And so I will be doing more members-only live chats. I do members-only lives too, but I'm saving that for when I get outside and get ready to go outside. We're going to take it to the court. We're going to take it to the court, talk Knicks with people, because there's Knicks fans everywhere, especially up in Westchester County. Everywhere I go, Knicks fans like people stop. Because look, when I go outside, I always got something Knicks on. So everybody wants to talk to me about the Knicks all the time. I'm going to take y'all guys outside. There's got to be some members-only content that I'm going to do. And, of course, when you also become a member, you get priority reply to comments. So when I'm doing a live like this, or when I'm doing content on the channel, I try to drop a survey a day. Look out for that to continue. I kind of slacked last week, but every day there's content. I drop videos every day. I drop content every day. So when you comment, I look for my channel members. They get priority reply to comments. Also, I got this series called the Unfiltered Thoughts series, where I just, it's my realest thoughts, and I share it with my channel members. And it's the best way to get access to it and check out that content is becoming a member. I'm going to do a video on Randall, right? Because he just got the bag, and I just got questions, right? What else I do? I got basketball footage up there. I'm going to be going live in the park. Of course, members get shouted out. Salute to all my members. I see you, HR, I'm the great. I see you, Yuri. I see you, Knicks will be chance 25, 26. I saw you, J-Tap, earlier. To everybody in the building, salute to you guys. Also, discount on merch. So the merch I was showing you guys earlier, you get discount on that. Let's go back to the shop. So you get a discount on the merch that I showed you guys earlier, which is basically this stuff here, Captain 11 mugs. Okay. So that's what you get when you become a member, man. Salute to all my channel members. I do appreciate you. And now let me jump back into the flagship topic, man. So the flagship topic is going to be this coaching search. As I jump into the flagship topic, let me just make sure I refresh my news. No news right now. NBA, yeah, man. Zaire Williams re-signing with the Nets. What the hell is the Nets doing? I don't know what the Nets are doing. Ooh, Dennis Schroeder got a $30 million bag. Hello, Dennis Schroeder just got a $30 million. You guys can't see it. He just got a $30 million. That's, guys, that's not, that spells trouble for us. If Dennis Schroeder is getting a $30 million bag, we ain't gonna be able to afford nobody. How does Dennis Schroeder get a $30 million bag, bro? Two years. So he getting $15 million a year. Luke Kennard, forget about it. Not happening. Luke Kennard could get that or more. Right? Hell, Gary Trent Jr. might get $10 million. I don't know, man. It's a tough job. But I want to talk about it. Okay? I want to talk about it. And then if I have time, I'll talk about the draft. I mean, the draft didn't really yield nothing. I talked about the exception. But let me see. So in terms of this coach being named, right? So I want to start with talking about some of the potential coaches that we have. So there was rumors, just a lot of rumors. There's interest on this Borrega guy, James Borrega. I didn't know nothing about him. But, you know, he's an assistant. He's been around the league. He comes from the Greg Popovich school. He's a CAA client. So sometimes when we see stuff like this, we got to realize why they're saying people are favorite. They're looking at the CAA. But what we got to realize is that the Knicks can't sign everyone who's CAA, right? So just because a guy's with CAA doesn't mean he's going to be with the Knicks. I doubt Borrega gets the call, but realistically, I think he might be the favorite of guys who are, you know, assistant coaches. I think Borrega is the favorite. So if they don't go Jenkins or Mike Brown, you know, we know that they're going to do second round interviews with them. But listen, I'm going to tell you what I really think is happening right now. Okay? I'm going to tell you guys what I really think is happening. And so I think that the Knicks are really trying to make a push at Jason Kidd. I think Jason Kidd is the Knicks' only target. Because every time I see reports, it always circles back to Kidd. He's under contract. We already got the rejection, right? And then also, let's see. And of course, the Norrie guy, the assistant from the Timberwolves, Makai Norrie, he also got a call. So he's a potential option. I don't know where that goes, but where's my Nico Harrison? There's an article somewhere on here where Nico Harrison vehemently denies. He says there's no way. There's no way. The Knicks, look, this is the strong response from Nico, right? He offers a strong response. Are there rumors out there about J. Kidd? Right? I thought I shut those down. Yes, he will be the head coach next year. You see that? This is what Nico said. Yes, he will be the head coach next year. So Nico is like, listen, I don't care what none of y'all talking about. Jason Kidd will be here next year, but, and Daily Knicks wrote this article, right? So, Jason Kidd future with the Dallas Mavericks no longer appears to be set in stone, huh? A leak source told him that Kidd has not gotten any clarity, here we go, from the Mavericks other than the public statements. Uh-oh. Right? What's more, Papa adds the Knicks aren't making Dallas' situation any easier, as they have yet to walk away from their pursuit. That's why I think the delay is there. Also, I got to give a big time. Hold on. Let me pause right there. Hold on. I got to give a big time salute to. Hold on. Where is it at? Do I got it? Don't. I lost it. Hold on. I'm going to give a big time salute to Don Staley, right? Because Don Staley was mentioned in this whole Knicks talk, right? And first off, I want to say this about Don Staley. To all you men out there, right? And I ain't going to name names, but some of you guys in this chat, okay, might be in the Discord server. I don't know. Y'all was making jokes about, the woman and it's not just you guys. I'm teasing my guys in my Discord. It wasn't really them, but it's the rhetoric that's online about Don Staley, right? And, oh, yeah, a woman, she don't need to coach in a men's league and all this nonsense. First of all, let me just say this. We know that women are not on the same athletic level as men in terms of at the elite level. We're talking about the girls from the WNBA cannot play in the NBA. There's no way. It's two different worlds, right? However, knowing the game of basketball, being able to talk the game of basketball, a woman is just as qualified as a man to have that conversation. I'm going to say that for the record, right? We got women owners. Even though she sold bus, salute the bus, she sold. We got women executives, women in the front office. We got women referees, right? So this notion that a woman couldn't be the coach because she's a woman is crazy, especially if it's a woman as accomplished as Dawn Staley is, right? She played with the Olympic team, right? Look at her resume. She ain't just a player. She ain't just a person that played the game. Like many NBA coaches, none of them dudes was all of that. Many of the NBA guys that coach, they weren't, I'm not going to name names. They were not all of that. But this lady right here, 6-time WNBA All-Star, right? She was on the WNBA 10th anniversary team. So she's an all-time great, right? She's 2-time ABL All-Star. I mean, her accolades, I don't want to read the entire list, but she is not no run-of-the-mill player. Like, she was lit back in the day. Like, she was so if we're going to talk about accolades and who you are, I think she's the perfect candidate to coach in the men's league. Now, I don't think that she's right for the Knicks job. Not because she's a woman, but because she is a first-time coach. I wouldn't give a first-time coach this Knicks job. Now, if the Knicks were trash and we didn't have a good team, okay, perfect. Anybody could coach. But I will say this. Maybe she is the change that New York needs. How many of you guys remember that Eddie movie from the 90s? Look at all my old heads in the building. How many of you guys remember that movie Eddie from the 90s? Everybody was talking about, oh, the woman, this, that, in the movie. What are we doing? The owner, the wild new owner. I mean, it's a movie. But woman from the stands, they hired her. She took the team to the play. I know it's a movie, but maybe we need that energy. What have we done in the last 50 years? We didn't do nothing. So if Dawn Staley is available, maybe she could do it. I wouldn't put her in that position. I personally don't think she's the right person to job. Not because she's a woman. I just don't think a first-time coach, I don't want to scar them. I'd rather her go to Washington or something like that. Don't come to New York with you crazy fans. But she is her. She is her. As a player, she's one of the greatest players of all time in women's basketball. So I had to go there. I had to go there. Okay? So yes, we know women can't play in the men's league, right? Of course. But coaching, reffing, why not? Why not? And like I said, she's a hooper. They gonna respect her. She ain't nobody. She ain't just a player who played. Like most of the coaches. Most of the coaches are guys who just played or didn't play, right? Then you got some Jason Kidds out there, right? To bring it back to Jason Kidd, right? So he's trying to get, Jason Kidd is trying to secure the bag. He's trying to secure the bag. Dallas is not securing the bag. It seems to be some pettiness between the Knicks and the Mavericks. You know, we took Jalen Brunson from them. Yeah, we took him. We got tampered. We tampered. We got Jalen Brunson on our side. Yeah, we did that. We fleeced y'all. Y'all didn't know what y'all was doing with him. Then you trade Luka. What the hell are they doing? Yeah, might as well just give up Jason Kidd. You lucky you got the first pick. I swear to God, Cooper Flag saved Nico from, even though I and Gil highlighted this from Gil's Arena. The owners wanted Luka to trade it, right? That was a owner move, but everyone points the blame at Nico. Everyone points the blame at Nico. So what's happening is this. The Knicks are waiting for Kidd. I have an issue with the waiting, but Leon Rose, I really do think his plan is to get Giannis. I really believe that the plan is to get Giannis. And Jason Kidd is the perfect candidate to get him because he coached them in Milwaukee. They had a great relationship. Giannis is open to trades. If you can convince Dallas well, it won't even be a convincing if Kidd is like, wait a minute, you guys ain't offering me my extension. I seen Udoka get the extension. Udoka didn't even take these guys to the finals. I took y'all to the finals. And y'all not even giving me my extension? I want to talk to the Knicks. Because I want my job secured. See, I don't want this to blow up and the Mavericks don't make the playoffs and now y'all firing me when I could have had a Knicks job. I think that's the long play. I think that's why we're waiting. That's why we've been waiting. I think Jason Kidd, there's a good chance he could become the coach of the Knicks. Now, of course, this is all speculation at this point because we don't know what the hell's going on. I'm going to say this, and I kind of looked it up. No, I did look it up, but I didn't go deeper into the research, but I haven't seen a team go into the moratorium period, which is basically, when I say moratorium, negotiating of free agents, without a coach. Definitely in recent years, I hadn't seen a team without a coach go into the moratorium period. Why are we not doing that? It has to be because we're trying to get Jason Kidd. It has to be. They're really trying to get Jason Kidd. So, salute to the kid from Coney. He called up the call-up show. He said, Leon Rose is shaking up the trees when he went to go talk to these other, teams to see if their coaches would be available because he went to all the teams where guys need to get extensions. Calculated move by Leon Rose. I'm just here just to shake up the apple cart. But the guy who I want, the guy who I need, is this guy right here. I know this isn't the greatest picture. This is the guy I always wanted. Because I know that there's some issues with their front office. And if there's a team that's willing to drop the ball and actually allow their coach to walk, it would be the Dallas Mavericks. Cooper Flag saved their franchise. Would they have had a good team without him? Yeah. They'd probably be a playing team for sure, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Without Kyrie Irving, playing team guaranteed. But getting Cooper Flag puts them on the map, even if they are a playing team. And I think there's still potential to play a playing team, but it's Cooper Flag. This is the first pick in the draft. That brings the notoriety. So I honestly think that don't be surprised if Jason Kidd is your coach. It's going to take a miracle, but this brother right here, if he says, wait a minute, Ime Udoka got $50-something million. Billy Donovan, whatever his name, Billy Donovan, whatever his name is, he got the extension. I'm better than them. Just saying. That's the play. And if that's the play from Leon Rose, I'm not mad. I'm only mad that we don't have a coach on June 30th going into the moratorium period. Let me see you guys at in the chat. A lot of activity in the chat. Coach says the NBA gave them that pick. Okay. Let's see. Lakers going to go for Giannis next summer. They don't got the assets. They don't got the assets that the Knicks will have, especially next summer. Let's see. Ain't Kai about to be 34? Yes. If he ain't about to be 34, he is 34. You rather have Jenkins than Kidd? At least Kidd could say, I took a team to the finals. Where did Jenkins go? He got some 51 teams, but you had that with Coach Tibbs. Were we going to go get another Coach Tibbs? Remember, the long-term play is not just Kidd, though. The long-term play is to convince this guy here. This is the play. All right? We have to convince him to want to come to New York. One of the ways to do it is to get his coach. This is his coach. You get his coach, you can get him. Also, to the Daily Knicks and to the people saying to wait till next summer, he might not be here next summer. I don't even think the Bucks might be a playing team, bro. Fighting for their playoff lives. I'm going to keep it real. What does Milwaukee have to... I know they signed Bobby Portis back, who's a guy I would love to get. Brook Lopez, I'm not sure they bought him back. I mean, what are they doing? How you going to compete? Sacramento Kings. Come on. Is that the Sacramento Kings? Who gave the brother the $30 million? Sacramento Kings just gave Dennis Schroeder $30 million. There's teams that are going to be actively trying to get Giannis, bro. What's to say the OKC Thunder with the championship and the Infinity Stones and the Gauntlet? What's to say they don't trade for Giannis? Saying, you just never know. If Giannis one day goes, I want to go to the OKC Thunder, you have nothing to compete with that trade package because they got picks. So Giannis will be here next year. There's no guarantees. No guarantees. AP says early show. Any news? No news. AP. That's why we doing the early show. I'll try to do some late night shows, but I'm traveling. I'll be leaving out on Wednesday. So it would have to be tonight or tomorrow. I'll see how I feel, depending on the severity of the news. But expect to see some spontaneous stuff from me. Size 9 says, smart move by the Kings. Great move by the Kings. Great move by the Kings. Now they got a guy who could start, who could come off the bench. They could put him anywhere. Friends that said about late night, do I mean 8 p.m.? No, I mean after midnight. Kidd the best candidate. Yeah, facts. All right. Let me I'm gonna touch on the draft briefly. I'm gonna keep it moving. But the draft, is a who's who of who's who. We didn't use the second round exception that I was talking about earlier. We did make a trade. I mean, I'm okay. I mean, it's great. I mean, what do you want me to say? What do you want me to say about what the Knicks drafted? Of course, this kid. I like this kid, Kobe Sanders. Though I just think he was a little slow, like athletic from an athlete. But he might be a bona fide bucket. That might be a great pick for the Clippers, man. The Kobe Sanders kid. I felt like his athleticism was a little limited. I'm not going to cap, but he was getting buckets. Got good size. We traded him. Hopefully that Kobe Sanders trade doesn't come back to bite us. But, you know, we did get this Luka Mitrovic kid, right? And, of course, we drafted... hold on, let me get the kid's name because you know, I'm not the greatest with the international names pronouncing. But this kid right here, Knicks pick Mohamed Diarra with the 25 pick. He's a project, bro. Project. He averaged 5.8. I know stats isn't everything, and we're not a box score warrior. But 5.8 points, 3.1 rebounds. He does have a 7'4" wingspan, which is interesting. But he's not ready. Not ready. Then we got the other kid, Nanji. We didn't draft him, but we signed him. We got him in. I think he was we traded for his rights with the I think it was the Bucks. He's gonna be in summer league. I mean, that's it. And then we got this kid here, Luka Mitrovic. Anytime I see a Euro stash that's 32 years old, because look, if you was really that good, you would be in the league, right? Like if you was really that good, you would be in the league. I don't know. They say he's a good shooter. 32-year-old. That's all I'm working with, guys. I mean, what do you want me to say? I don't know who the hell these guys are. And you know what? I bridged this with Summer League. So Summer League schedule was announced. Right? This is the schedule right here. So we got Detroit on the 11th. I would love to be in Vegas. July the 11th, Detroit, Boston on the 13th. The Nets on the 15th. And then the Pacers on the 17th. And there's also will be an additional game. So who knows? Could we win the championship? I don't know. Don't really care. I want to win NBA championships. You know, I'm not concerned about, I'm just not concerned about Summer League championships, or G League championships either. But here's the roster. Right? So we got the Diarra kid, James Nanji, the kid I was talking about earlier. Dink Pate, he's gonna be there. And Bilali Bowles, I have no idea who that is. More than likely, you know, Kevin McCullough Jr. will be there. I'm not sure if Kolick is. If I'm Kolick, I wouldn't go. Pacome, I'd go. Ariel, I wouldn't go if I'm Ariel. I already got my contract. Why am I going there? Leave it for the other guys. Let this Diarra kid, let him get the light. If I'm Ariel, why would I go to Summer League? It doesn't make sense. But we still waiting to see what the rest of the Summer League roster is going to be. I am interested in Summer League. But I don't know. We ain't got a coach. So it's hard to like speculate on anything else when you don't got a coach. I'm going to move to comment of the week. So comment of the week. I had another one. I don't know where it's at. But this is kind of on brand. So salute to this brother right here, Shottage, 6452. I don't want Jason Kidd because Jalen Brunson's going to play the way Jalen thinks he's MPV of the Knicks. He thinks he's the MPV of the Knicks. So, yeah. First off, this comment is just so wrong because it's so presumptuous. Like he's presuming that Jason Kidd is going to allow Brunson to just be like Luka. When in all actuality, Brunson under Kidd was more of a pass first point guard. That's a fact. Brunson didn't really start getting buckets like that until Luka got hurt, right? That's when you start to see him more aggressive when he was dropping, 40, 30 something in the playoffs against Donovan Mitchell, right? So there's a great chance that Brunson might become a double-double guy under Jason Kidd. I don't see how Jason Kidd doesn't benefit Jalen Brunson. I think Jason Kidd is the best coach to be for Jalen Brunson because he was a point guard, more of a pass-first point guard, so he can help Brunson in that area. What are we talking about? And then also, Jalen thinks he's the MPV of the Knicks. Well, he's definitely the captain of the Knicks. He's definitely the best player of the Knicks. He definitely is the only Knick on this current roster to be top 5 in I'm about to say MPV voting, in MVP voting. What the hell are you talking about, bro? He is the MVP of the Knicks. Now, do we need him to shoot every shot? No. Are we good when he passes the ball? Yes. When Jalen Brunson has 9 assists or more, right? The Knicks record is 15-6. 15-6 when Jalen Brunson has 9 assists or more. We benefit from him passing the ball. We also benefit from him scoring the ball as well. Anytime Jalen Brunson had 30 points or more, the Knicks also had a 15-7 record. Okay? So when Jalen Brunson scored 30 or more, they also had a 15-7 record. So 15-7 when he gets 30 or more, 15-6 when he gets 9 or more assists. So there's value in him doing both. Now, I think Jason Kidd will bring a healthy balance to Brunson's game. I think that he's the perfect coach for Jalen. We talk about All-NBA first team. If Brunson can get there, I think Jason Kidd would be the one to mold him because he's going to show him, help unlock that other side to Brunson, which could propel him to becoming a double guy the way Kidd was. So yeah, this guy's bugged out. Definitely bugged out. That's my comment of the week, man. No smoke of the week this week because honestly, if you're talking negative about the Knicks right now, we don't even got a coach. Salute to whoever said that in the chat. We don't even got a goddamn coach. Anyway, let me oh, by the way, salute to Still Knick fans in the building. I'm pretty sure Still Knick fans has a show lined up tonight. Still Knick fans, I gotta reach out to you. We gotta set up a show. I'm getting ready to go on mini vacation. So when I get back, expect to see me on Still Knick fan show. We gonna come up with a schedule, whether it be Monday. We'll come up with something. But hey, salute to Still Knick fans. I need to put out that clip you call up on the call-up show. But if you're not subscribed to Still Knick fans, definitely go check out Still Knick fans. Great content. He's family to this channel. Let's see. AP says LeBron to the Knicks won't happen. He signed his deal. Won't happen. He signed the $52 million deal. Are you trading OG Anunoby for LeBron? No. The LeBron deal won't happen. Not happening. Now, if he would have opted out and then came to the Knicks on the mid-level exception, being that he's a billionaire, hey, I want to help the Knicks win the championship so I can pass Michael Jordan on the GOAT list. I'm going to go to a place that never won it. So I'm going to have be on record for winning a championship on 2 places that never won it. That's some GOAT level stuff. You want to be the GOAT, LeBron? You opt out of that deal and sign with the Knicks and say, I'm going to be that power forward that you guys need. Jabroni says Jenkins is the primary. Yeah, Jenkins is probably going to be the primary. I'm just telling you why I think that it's taking long. Karan's leaving his room to see the other parts of his house in the mini vacation. No, Crims, that. No, I'm actually going to be down south, man. I'm going to be in the Carolinas, man. Family reunions and all of that. How's my title clickbait? Prim's dad, how is my title? Hold on. How is my title clickbait? Breaking Knicks name, shocking choice as new head coach? Question mark. I'm asking the question. And I'm telling you guys that I think that Jason Kidd is that coach. But it's a question that I'm asking. That's why the question mark is there. That it's a question, right? So don't get mad at me because you didn't see the question mark, Crimes at. You thought I didn't see that comment? Yeah, listen, I'm looking for my members, man. I'm just trying to see what y'all talking about. Let me see. Content creators are allowed to do whatever they choose on their shows. Facts. But I'm asking a question. Did the Knicks name their shocking new head coach? Why? Because I showed you the news. I said, yo, the coach search took a wild turn, right? Because while Nico Harrison is in the media saying that, yo, Jason Kidd is going nowhere, we have here that, yo, Jason Kidd's people said they haven't even talked to him in private. And Jason Kidd wants his extension. So y'all out here telling everybody that Kidd is under contract or going to be under contract. I'm not. That right there can cause a stir. So yeah, there's no clickbait. So I'm gonna do word on the street and we out of here. So I don't think I got too many surveys I did. So I'm gonna start here. With the Knicks seemingly coming off of all their assets. I'm sorry, with the Celtics seemingly coming off of all of their assets, should the Knicks consider trading for Derek White? I'm gonna say yes. 71% of the 238 votes concur. We believe that the Knicks should strongly do it for the reasons I stated earlier. I think that it only makes sense for Derek White to come to the Knicks. He would be perfect with Jalen Brunson. He can guard point guards. He can make shots. He can play defense. He can make plays for others. He was an Olympian, for Christ's sakes. I think the brother would be great in New York. How do you feel about the Knicks' second-round picks? Mohamed Diarra. Sorry, I'm not going to get it right. And Luka Mitrovic. Okay, I think I did better with the Luka Mitrovic. Okay? So 306 votes. I'm going to say who. I don't know who the hell they are. So 46% of 307 votes say who. 44% say good pickups. Y'all must really know international basketball to say good pickups. Because you're averaging 5 points a game, bro. I know we can't be box score warriors, but if I see a dude averaging 5 points a game in any league, you're not ready. He might be great, but you're not ready, bro. You're not ready. And I'm looking at the championship barometer, but I see what Leon Rose is trying to do. I'm going to give him grace. 46% say who, 44% say good pickups, and 6% say terrible picks. See, I wouldn't say terrible picks because I don't know who the hell they are. That's why I added who. Because they might be great picks. I just don't know. And that's all. Like I postponed the call-up show last Friday. The call-up show won't return this Friday. I'm out of town, but you might get a live. And I'm going to go see that guy Dusty. Maybe I do something with Dusty. I don't know. I'm going to go see him. Trying to think of anything else. That's all I got for you guys, man. I do appreciate all you guys in the chat, man. The chat was lit. Salute to Miguel P. Love the show. But the title is sus. How is the title sus? How is the title sus? Asking the question. I feel you, Miguel. You're entitled to your opinion. You don't got to agree with everything. Crims that said Villanova and Villanova and French friend groups, all Knicks care about is friendships. Okay, yeah. He is friends with Pacome Dadier. We're lucky if we get 5 points out of Mitchell Robinson. Facts. That's why I don't want to start the double big lineup. Jenkins is the one for you, size 9. I do see you. Okay. Trying to see if there's anything interesting on the way out. Coming for my title. But that's all I got for you guys. I do want to give a big time salute to all of the Knicks Tape Madness Discord server channel members and mods and just channel members. in general. Crim's dad, Yuri, J-Tap, who else was HRM the Great was in the building, right? JJP and YC was in the building. Salute to all you guys that was here. Salute to AP as well, one of the first mods on the channel. Big ups to you. Salute to Joe Curry. I see you in the building. Ron approved. Hey, that's all I need. That's all I need. If still Knicks fans are giving me the approval, that's all I need. The rest of you guys' opinion, it just doesn't matter. I'm sorry. I love you, but it just doesn't matter. Salute to everybody that was here. Miguel. I mean, so many names. Jabroni. Size 9. Man, salute to all you guys. Maxine, even though she wasn't here. JJ4K. I mean, just so many names. G Robinson. Randu. Man, salute to all you guys, man. I do appreciate you guys. Look out for the videos, the content. I'm gonna still try to drop content every day. And expect some spontaneous lives. That's all I got for you guys. And until next time, y'all, as always, Knicks. Oh, Knicks.